Because the car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check it. All right?
Take it down.
Relax. Huh? Yeah.
Put that jacket down right now.
Put the jacket down. Cuff him up.
Body cam on police officers are like plot twists in a gripping thriller. These tiny devices are the difference between justice and injustice, offering protection from the very authorities meant to serve and protect. Today, we'll delve into a few of these cases. Did the scales of justice finally tip in favor of those wrongly convicted? Were the officers held accountable for their actions in these cases? Can we even begin to imagine the different results that might have unfolded if police body cams hadn't been in use during those crucial moments? Now moving on to our first case for the day. In 2019, Staten Island Criminal Court judge vacated Jason Serrano's 2018 conviction, citing the potentially incriminating video and arresting officers' past history of planting drugs on another person. Serrano was riding in a friend's SUV in March 2018 when the vehicle was pulled over by officers Kyle Erickson and Elmer Pastrin. The officers claimed the car had a broken taillight, but according to Serrano, the officers had been further up the road and couldn't have seen the taillight from that position. When the driver rolled down the window, the officers claimed they smelled marijuana.
Because the car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check it. All right?
They asked Serrano, who was still healing from a stomach surgery after a stabbing, and the driver to get out of the car.
How are you going to search the car? He's going to step out.
Yeah. You guys going to hang out with me? He's going to search.
In the video, Serrano hesitates to step out of the car, even showing the officers his surgical scars. He mentions, "I can barely move," but an officer dismisses his concern by replying, "I don't want to see that." As Serrano becomes more upset, the officers get more forceful. They grab him, force him to the ground, and put handcuffs on him.
Take it down.
Relax. Huh? Yeah.
Put that jacket down right now.
Put the jacket down. Cuff him up.
They said I was resisting arrest, but I just didn't want to hit the floor. The only thing I was thinking about was this, Serrano said during a recent interview, pointing to his stomach. I still had staples in me. I couldn't even stand up straight. While Serrano lies on the sidewalk bleeding from his wound, additional officers and onlookers gather, waiting for an ambulance. In the meantime, Pastrin starts looking for Serrano's jacket. Erickson says to him, "We need to find something." If they orchestrated this kind of stunt without a legitimate cause, they understood that the fallout could get quite peculiar. In the body cam video, Erickson is spotted using a flashlight to inspect the front seat where Serrano had been seated, but he comes up empty-handed. Then within seconds, Erickson seemingly puts what appears to be marijuana into the drink holder. Even though he had initially found nothing there, he comments, "I smell a little weed." While shifting the bud, "There's a little bit of weed," he adds.
It's a little bit of weed.
As the ambulance arrives, the video shows Serrano being taken away. In the meantime, Erickson and Pastrin exchange a fist bump, sharing a moment of camaraderie. Jason Serrano struck a plea deal in 2018, sidestepping jail time, completely unaware of the footage until early 2019. Astonishingly, this isn't the officer's first offense. They engaged in a strikingly similar incident just 3 months before Serrano's arrest. Attorneys demanded the immediate dismissal of these officers. As per an NYPD spokesperson, Erickson has retired from the force, while Pastrin remains on extended leave. If you find yourself astonished by police fabricating evidence, don't be. It's an all too familiar scenario. Take the case of Baltimore, where once more camera footage rides to the rescue. But what you don't see is how the police planted this evidence himself earlier. A Baltimore man was held in jail for months after police found a stash of drugs, but the officer who found the drugs also seems to be the one who hid them in that spot, according to footage from his body camera. The recording captures an afternoon on January 24th, featuring Officer Richard Pinero and 2 other officers in the cluttered backyard of a row house. At the beginning of the footage, Pinero holds a soup can containing a clear plastic bag, which he discreetly positions amidst the debris. Subsequently, he leads his fellow officers out of the narrow access alley. As they reach the sidewalk, Pinero activates his body camera, seemingly unaware that his prior actions have also been recorded. In a twist of irony, police cameras possess a unique feature that preserves the 30 seconds of video before activation, but without audio, a fact that inadvertently led to the officer digging his own grave. Following a search that barely lasted 15 seconds, he retrieves the soup can, extracts the plastic bag, and presents it to the camera, revealing its contents: white capsules.
He finds a bag of drugs tucked into a soup can.
Yo.
But the video doesn't actually begin there. It starts 30 seconds earlier. Officer Richard Pinero in the same spot planting the evidence, according to the public defender's office. Today, the police announced the officer has been suspended.
I know we have to immediately launch an investigation. All boots on the ground.
The operation led to the arrest of the suspect, who endured months of incarceration until the public defender's office recently forwarded the body cam video to the state attorney's office. During this time, he remained in custody, unable to post the hefty $50,000 bail. Now, thanks to the body cam evidence, he has regained his freedom. Despite the prosecutor expressing deep concern over the incident, it's baffling that Officer Pinero was called to testify in another case the following week without any disclosure of this videotape. Officer Pinero, who has been a witness in 53 other cases, is currently under scrutiny for his credibility. As a result, Pinero has been suspended, while 2 of his colleagues are assigned to administrative duties. Now, picture this. If these stories revolve around the actions of just 1 or 2 officers, then contemplate a city's predicament, where a significant portion of their police force is accused of causing distress among its residents over many years. Prepare to witness astonishing body cam footage that will leave your eyes in disbelief. Over a third of the East Cleveland, Ohio Police Department faces indictment, as 11 current and former members of the troubled law enforcement agency are charged with public corruption and civil rights violations.
Tonight, 11 more East Cleveland police officers indicted for unlawful conduct.
Some of the alleged abuse inflicted on community residents is described as being akin to torture. The Cleveland division of the FBI unveiled the new indictments during a press conference. They also made public shocking body camera footage that depicts officers allegedly engaging in acts of violence, including beating, kicking, and stomping community residents. Disturbingly, some of these individuals were subjected to brutality even after being handcuffed and seemingly complying with the officers' orders to kneel. The officers arrested and charged under the new indictments were identified as John Hartman, Nicholas Foti, Ian McInes, Kyle Wood, Tyler Munson, Brian Stoll, and Laurice Mons. Also indicted were Brian Parks, Daniel Toomer, Tristan Hamann, and Trey DeHart Robinson. The charges include felonious assault, interfering with civil rights, dereliction of duty, evidence tampering, and obstruction of justice. It's worth noting that all the reported incidents of alleged misconduct transpired prior to the appointment of a new police chief last fall. County Prosecutor O'Malley said the video showed people who were giving up. They were showing their hands. They were acquiescing to law enforcement, and that wasn't enough. And I don't know what a citizen can do other than surrender and put their hands up and hope the arrest goes by the book.
Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley saying these all happened under former Police Chief Scott Gardner.
Clearly, based upon the sheer number, you were probably seeing individuals who were hired, who were taught by people who ought not be teaching.
7 of the officers were being indicted for the first time, while 4 had been previously indicted. And the 11 new incidents occurred between February 2020 and July 2022. 4 current officers on the 26-member force are among those facing charges. 1 former East Cleveland officer employed by a neighboring jurisdiction was fired after the announcement. The total of 31 indictments, resulting in charges against a total of 16 officers over the last 6.5 months, occurred between June 2018 and July 2022, and involved 17 victims, officials said. As revealed by officials in the county prosecutor's office, the charges were a result of citizen complaints and concerns expressed by colleagues. They commended the investigative team for diligently reviewing hours of videotape to validate details, and in some instances vindicating the victims. The new police chief, Brian Gerhard, a seasoned 27-year force veteran, aspires to restore the department's lost respectability, reminiscent of its earlier days. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael C. O'Malley understood that the real victims in this situation were the entire city's residents, who lived in an environment characterized by fear.
Special Agent Gregory Nelson said they want to collect more information, asking for tips of abuse by East Cleveland police officers.
Protecting the civil rights of our citizens will and always was or has been a priority or top priority of the FBI.
What measures must be taken to restore faith in law enforcement after a tumultuous period of misconduct? Can justice be served in a way that not only punishes the guilty, but also rebuilds a community's trust in its police force? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to follow for more interesting content.